Yeah, exactly. So that's good like that. Oh, man, it's great to be here. Obviously, we just got done with practice number 7, and been very, very pleased to start off with is our effort has been tremendous on special teams in all phases. And obviously, we always want a bunch of guys, we're trying to tell them whoa, then go, which means, hey, there's sometimes we need to slow down rather than speed up, and we're spending more time on that. There is no issues with getting a very interested and invested group out there for every drill, everything we're doing. It starts off for us really fast. We're the first meeting out of the day, and so that's the exciting part. So we're out there, 7:30 we're going. Honestly, by 7:10 we've probably got 70% of the guys in there and everyone's rolling, and we're basically kind of buying time to make sure we get to 7:25 for a 7:30 meeting to get started. So that's that's just awesome for us right there with what we're getting done. In general, we're kicking the ball well, we're punting the ball well, and we're snapping the ball well. No decisions are being made as far as what positions they're going to be, but very pleased with how we got started in all those phases for us right now. So a lot of positives going for us right now. A lot of kids that are just busting their tail at every position, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of good questions, and I'll be able to delve into it a little bit more after that. So. There's probably been some changes. You always have a little bit of your own flair to when things come in. Drill work-wise, if there's one theme that we're trying to have, is that we're trying to have competitive drills, and we use the term game rep. And so the walkthrough phase or three-quarter drill phase does not do us any good. So we want to be able to have them out there and compete. So if we're doing a punt return drill and we're going to try to hold guys up, the guys running down are full speed, all those things of that nature. I know I love Brew. We talked about, someone told me the other day about the pancakes and everything. We're not like coming off the third rope and doing like live blindside blocks or anything like that, but we're taking care of each other. But our effort is outstanding, and I really appreciate them for that with what they're doing.
Applewhite talked about Ramir having several roles. How do you use Ramir right?
Well, Ramir is and however you want to put it, he's an ascending football player, but he's a core, he's a leader, he's part of core 4 of everything we do, and he just says, yes, sir, and does everything correctly at full speed. I just have so much respect for Ramir Johnson and where he's at and what we've asked him to do, the different phases as far as running down and being a gunner on the punt team, being on the starting kickoff team, being on the starting kickoff return team, and on that phase he's going to be blocking people. So everything that we do, he is a huge part of right there. And that also is a trickle-down effect from the head coach to the position coach, because the running back room is outstanding. That comes down because of what we have from Coach Frost, and it comes down from what we have from Coach Applewhite. As far as what he's expected in the room and how he pushes those guys in the room. And we have the same thing going on with all positions, but the same thing has really happened where we've made a huge jump for us is in the wide receiver room. As far as that, Mickey's done an unbelievable job, Coach Joseph, an unbelievable job of having his guys ready for when they need to be in special teams and what they're doing, and they have performed at a very high level with a lot of energy, because we need offensive guys that can run down and tackle. It can't just be defenders that do that. And so we got to be able to have running backs and wide receivers that can do that. Tight ends fit into their mode right there. Coach Becton is off the charts with what he gets done with us, how he coaches the position. Our assistant coaches are incredible. And it takes a whole unit of coaches to be able to get them ready. Yes, I organize it. I'm the one that's in charge of it, but our assistant coaches are lights out, and I feel it's going to be a big difference for us.
I feel like that's been just so many new coaches, new assistants. How do you feel like you guys have sort of come together and coalesced?
I think we've come together really well. I think from the start, the one thing that helped a bunch was that that me and Coach Joseph had worked together. We were here when he was a player and I was a GA, and then spending all that time at LSU together, and we were used to high tempo, everyone buying in how it works, and so that helped us a bunch. So Mickey was able to help lead in those areas for us right there. And then every coach right there, once like I said, you get what you emphasize, and we emphasize how we're going to be early, how hard we're going to work, and every assistant coach matches that energy with it. And so it just becomes the overall culture of your team and what's expected. So everyone knows they're going. There's no one on the roster that is off limits as far as who can go out and play.
Timmy was just
Well, so the question obviously like that, what's the structure with them? And sometimes it can be, whether it be more loose or not, I don't know how that is other places. But, they have a 24 period outlay of what they're doing every single second. And the big thing is whatever you're doing for us right there, you don't kicks or punts in a half mode. It's full speed game mode. So then you got to control their reps. So the biggest thing that I'm doing a lot with them is being able to say, how many balls can we hit? Can we do a pitch count on everything? But so we have it down so we do our work. Pre-practice is heavy for us. Then we have our periods that are going to be specifically special teams. Then we go in the stadium, and that's where it really counts. I say we go in the stadium, and we get about 25 minutes in there, and then back to, you can't punt and kick all day. Your leg will fall off. And so that'd be great, but so you have to try to keep that in mind. And they would like to overkick, but those guys have responded extremely well to that. So I'm excited about that group.
I think you mentioned Anthony Graham on the radio. You mentioned kicker return option. How's that sort of shaking out right now?
Anthony's doing really well for us, and we have our kickoff returners installed. We don't have every phase of it installed, but we do have the start of it installed. And obviously, like the first thing I talk about is the toughest position to play on special teams is front line on kickoff return. It's extremely hard. And so the guys you pick to be up there are your real dudes. That's the part that's really hard. Then the next level for us right there, the fullback and the wings, they got to be able to put their face on people for us right there. And then we have to have guys that hit it in a vertical return and tough people like that are used to carrying the ball for ball security. That's why I've always enjoyed running backs at that position for us, because they're used to ball security like that. They're used to ball security like that. Other people can do it. We have other positions that are doing that, but I've always enjoyed that format, that, and they're used to being hit. They're used to being hit, and they're used to being tackled, and so that's always a big plus.
I think Applewhite said that Ramir's on the front line of the kickoff returns.
He is, and so what's impressive about that is Ramir was the returner last year. So when he got moved, but some people wouldn't think this, that when he got moved from returner to front line, that's a promotion. Is what that is. That's a promotion. That means that's what you think of somebody when you move them up there like that, and that's why he's up there. And I gave the talk the other day how hard he works, but we had a time in spring last year, and the drill got over, and the first thing he did was ran by me, and he said they had 4 reps. He goes, Coach, 4 for 4. Like that. So it meant something to make sure he blocks his guy at that. So like I said, but again, all the way down through it. To tell you, the person who's stepping up that's looking good on special teams for us in all phases like that is also Gabe Irvin, doing a great job for us. So you keep hearing running back names keep coming up in different things. They're covering kicks. They're blocking for people. They're also running. They're doing all phases, just like that receiver room is, just like the DB room is, like that. So I said I went heavy on offense because sometimes those guys don't show up as much. But Coach Fisher on the defense for us, right, is doing an unbelievable job having his guys ready to go. Coach Root is such a huge part. Those linebackers are ginormous for us. They all those starting linebackers will be starting on special teams in some phase for us, so that's great. And then in most places, guys, you don't get the defensive coordinator, which is Coach Shenander. They usually like that at most places. They just step off during special teams, and they're kind of on the sideline, kind of hanging out, because Coach Chins is out there with me for every single drill. What do you need done? How do you need to coach him? I give him assignments. It's executed well. So I'm just telling you again, offense and defensive assistant coaches are kicking ass, and I appreciate it.
That you've always mentioned that your punting and your special team units are invitational. How have you guys responded to having a unit be invitational?
They responded really well to it, so they understand like that how cool it is to be one of those guys in those spots. Because I try to point it out to them how important it is in this deal. It's like punt. How important is that to be the protector, to be able to punt it, be able to do those things. So they've taken the invitation only to a high level, and there's a bunch of people that are trying and scrapping to get into positions like that, because I always use the term dudes over drills like that. Drills are great, but it's the guys executing the drills like that. So I got to have the best players out there that can possibly do it in that spot. And sometimes for certain positions, maybe it's not a starter, it's somebody that could be, but I call them LRPs, limited role players, but they can do one task extremely well, and let's get them out there. It also builds up the energy on your team.
It's human for us when we're watching game weeks. Our eyes just go to the kickoff return. That's how the TV camera works. We don't really see what's going on. What maybe don't we understand about what makes a good kickoff return unit beyond
adjusted over time?
Well, like I said, it's a committed group of people up front to be able to protect for them. And also great decision making on what are return balls, what are not return balls. Those always come up as far as being really smart in the back end as far as, was the ball returnable? Was the ball too deep? Was it a muff kickoff that they shouldn't have returned? All those great decisions are really good like that. So for us also, talk about the front line, the off returner is basically an offensive guard that might have to carry the ball occasionally. And so he is our offensive guard / fullback. I call them guards in the meeting like that because they have to put their chest on people. And that guy is a critical. He's there to block, and so he knows that his role is I've got to block for this guy. He's the main guy. If it comes to me, I will handle it, and the next guy he'll replace me. So all those little things come up. But again, when you get back to the special teams thing, the number one thing to start off with, it's always get a punter, get a kicker, and get a snapper. That's still, when those things are operating for you at a good high level, everything else then elevates to you. All of a sudden you're making your kicks, you're punting the ball well, we're pinning them down there, we're doing all the good things right there. Everything else then starts to elevate off of that. So that was one thing that we have to be able to get done in that phase is make kicks, punt the ball better, snap the ball better, and we're on great pace to get that done.
The guy from Georgetown that
He has at that. Yeah. Brady's been doing a really, really good job for us like that. We have got 3 veteran guys in Cade Mueller, and then with Piper there also. I said we got 3 veteran guys for us that have all done it in games. So that's pretty. That makes me feel a little better, when sleeping at night, knowing I've got guys that have played in games and have snapped that, and they've done a nice job, and they're working their tails off. And that's still to be announced on who's going to be in those spots.
Sounds like Sheedy is skilled as a holder in addition to being a good punter.
Yeah, he is. Brian does like that. We have several holders we work. It's always great to have your punter be the holder for all the reps they can get during practice, because back in the day when you'd have your quarterback or wide receiver or whatever as your holder, well, they're doing their stuff all day, where we get to go out and they get to be able to get the reps all practice long. That's why you see like Sam Cook is the holder for them. So he gets it's just the multitude of reps that they get is so huge.
Even if Ryan wasn't the holder for Timmy, is there an importance for those two guys coming in together and one kicker, one punter, for them to have chemistry and a relationship and the way that they work well together going into the season?
Absolutely. The one thing we have now, we have great competition and great friendships already built in. So it's not someone, where someone misses a kick or something, the other guy's like, yes, again, everyone's in, everyone's doing the right thing. So I love the group. I absolutely love them like that. They work their tails off. And like I said, right now we're, knock on wood, things are going very well. But it's got to happen on game day in the stadium like that. So when it's on, I always say when it's on TV and they're keeping score is when it really matters. But they're doing a nice job with it. We Trey would definitely be Palmer would be a top option for us at punt returner. Isaiah Garcia is doing a really good job for us back there at punt returner right there. Tommy Hill also punt returner. Brody Belt punt returner. So we have upped ourselves in that area a lot. They've caught a lot of balls, be able to do things for us right there. And then Oliver Martin also brings some things to the table for us in some security situations, which is very good. They're my favorite people on the whole team. Yeah, that takes the most guts. It takes the most guts to be a punt returner. That's the one where you're a real dude, to stand back there and put the ball out there 45 yards with hang time and wind and all that stuff. It takes a special player that really wants to do it, has the skill set to do it, and has the toughness to do it. And all those things combined for us right there. That's why you see those special punt returners in anywhere. If you go through, there's been great ones here, obviously. But if you just go through college football last year, it's not like you might list off 20-some quarterbacks or might be 40 running backs you like. You don't list off like, man, there's like 45 punt returners that were outstanding. No, there's not. There's usually a small handful of really elite punt returners. That's how hard it is to be that guy.
have any other receivers stood out as members on the punt team too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they've done a great job. I said Trey's over there, does a great job. Again, at running back, Ramir Johnson's done a great job for us, at that spot. Isaiah is doing that for us. Brody Belt does that for us. But probably, like I said, all the receivers are all getting reps for us right there. And so Lear's done a really good job for us also, wide receiver for us. So we have a lot of guys that are doing it. So those guys are all getting reps because I love offensive guys at the gunner position because they're natural on the release, and then when they get vice, they've faced that before, so it's not unusual for them to be able to do that.
Is there like any concern about maybe possible injuries, like if a man like Trey Palmer is out there as a gunner?
No, we're just here to play football. Yeah, we'll figure it out. There's always different ways to look at stuff and who needs to play, how many reps right there. It's not going to be. I don't need every person. I don't need 11 guys to play every single snap right there. We got a bunch of guys we have a bunch of really good players to play different spots for us right there. But the last thing we're going to have on our team is somebody. There's nobody that's too cool to do what has to get done. That's just not how it works. That's not how Coach Frost wants it, and that's not how our coaches coach him right there. Again, our assistant coaches are doing an unbelievable job.
Besides Anthony's back there, kickoff.
What's that?
Besides Anthony.
Trey's back there. Tommy Hill's back there. Cooper Jewett is back there. Cooper does a really good job for us in that. Y-Master works in the off returner spot, and so and then also the new running backs for us right there. Emmett's doing a nice job back there for us. So a lot of guys are getting reps, but we have some guys that are pretty deep right there. But if we went out today, the person that I like the best in that spot is Anthony Grant.
Coach Busch, you mentioned Gabe Urban. Has he been doing special teams drills?
I could hear you say it
You
again.
mentioned Gabe Urban.
Yes.
What are good things you've seen from him? And how's he been doing?
Got everything almost like that. Just first of all, that he walks in the room, he's a grown man, and he acts like it every day. And he's a pro. And like I said, last year I would see him here because I was just an analyst, kind of hanging on the sidelines when he was hurt. He was a pro all the time. He was always paying attention. He was never off to the sidelines spinning a ball like that. He always paid attention with what was going on. So I got to build a relationship with him and talking about that. That everything that's asked him right there to start off the first day. I didn't list him on punt because he was just getting himself going again. He's fully cleared, doesn't have a knee brace on. He's good to go like that. And guess where he was in the drill? He was in the drill doing like that in the back end right there, getting his reps in right away. So he just keeps getting elevated all the time. And so I think right now like that, I told him in the he's going to get assigned on punt return, one of their best players, whoever it is, and he's going to have to hold him up. And he will. He'll die trying, which is what we'd like to have. So he just brings a lot of leadership, and he's quiet, and he just performs. Is that it?
Anything else?
Appreciate you guys.
We'll bring Luke Reimer over here in the next one.